Grand Risings, Kings, Queens, Gods, and Goddesses. Don't scroll, just listen. So, um, healthcare is starting to go through the dark ages with this administration. Um, with JFK Jr. heading Health and Human Services, um, American medicine has become an atrocity. Um, the things that he is attacking is things that MAGA has been talking about on podcasts and in um, social media without SBAR, which is evidence based practice that all professional healthcare professionals use to be able to practice medicine. A doctor just can't come in and say, well, I want to do this procedure on a patient. The procedures that the doctors do have been backed by clinical trials and evidence-based practice. And in making clinical decisions, you also use evidence-based practice in caring for patients. SBAR is one of our foundations in healthcare. This has went out the window. He's saying that vaccines cause autism in children. Um, Sir, show us the evidence-based practice. Show us the years of clinical trials where it can dominate and show that autism is caused by vaccines. Um, you have to show evidence-based practice. He is not. For one, I am a living witness that vaccines do not cause autism. I have an autistic son. He was diagnosed with autism before he received one vaccine. He was very, very sick, and I did not allow him to receive vaccines while he was in the hospital and going through his he being as sickly as he was, because I believe, because of evidence-based practice, you need to be a healthy individual to receive vaccinations. I believe his autism was caused by the lack of oxygen during delivery, but if they was to put that in evidence-based practice, it will cause for a lot of lawsuits with hospitals and healthcare professionals for not retrieving the baby um, from the womb and causing oxygen deformation. I think I'm saying that correctly. Excuse me if I'm not. But depletion, oxygen, and I believe with the lack of oxygen to the brain, it calls for a developmental delay, which is, to me, is part of autism. Also, the food that we consume while we have a fetus inside of us, while we are pregnant, the um, the um, the foods that we are consuming is causing autism as well. Um, no evidence-based practice has been found that links vaccines to autism. And even if it was, we have a law that prevents um, um, being sued for vaccines. So MAGA is totally just going off of podcast bullshit. Also, the president attacking Tylenol and he said acetaminophen, whatever he called it, but it's acetaminophen. Acetaminophen, you have to use evidence-based practice. This is why now Tylenol is monitored in use, because with evidence-based practice, it shows that it can cause a significant amount of liver damage over time. 47, when you bring out and say things like you say, that you're looking at your podcasts and your right-wing radio, you need to have scientists and medical professionals write up a dissertation using SBAR to show you that clinical trials and science-based practice has shown an increase of infant mortality due to the consumption of Tylenol, acetaminophen. This is why opioids has been closely monitored because of their addiction rate, as well as their damage that they can cause to liver and other vital organs. This was done through evidence-based practice. The only reason that we did allow for that's why we were so opposed to the jab, the C-19 jab, because it had no evidence-based practice behind it. Also, vaccines takes 10 to 20 years of clinical trials and human trials and evidence-based practice before they are released to the general public, because we're talking about injecting a foreign organism into your body. So it has to be evidence-based practice before this can be done. Now, when evidence-based practice is not used, the Black community suffer. This is why I am talking to y'all. If I know a lot of y'all do not remember, but the Tuskegee evidence study is showing evidence of dark age science, of mad scientists, and it calls for over about 600 participants to be injected or poorly treated for syphilis, with also non-backing SBAR with Black women and women reproductive rights. We were sterilized because of eugenics, without any evidence-based practice, and mutilated. I am one of the ones whose body has been mutilated during childbirth. I have a lot of scar tissues, and a lot of my vital organs has fused together because I was a Black woman putting my care into the hands of medical professionals that I thought had my best interests at heart, and they never did. And they caused a lot of problems with my reproductive system. And about time that I found out as to what's going on, a Black doctor at Emory, with evidence-based practice, showed me what was going on. It was too late to be compensated for any damages, because it was years after it happened. So this is a scary time, because when they throw out SBAR, our lives are in danger, and it causes for a ripple effect in healthcare. And when C-19 came on the scene, it seemed like evidence-based practices went out of the door, and conspiracies and podcasts took over medicine. Just like y'all boycotted Disney, it's time for us to look at how our healthcare is ran here in America. Because if we don't, we are going to see things way worse than C-19 enter into healthcare. We already have an outbreak of measles. We do not want measles, polio, things that we have eradicated from the human race, to back up. But with JFK Jr. as the head of Health and Human Services, our lives are definitely in danger. Ashe.